Chapter 9. A Trip to Greece.
George and Cleo got along better in the years that followed. They still had some fights over how to run things, however. So when George said that he and Daphne were going on a trip, Cleo was glad. She was sure that a little space between her and George would be good for everyone. "Your mama and I are going to Greece," George told the family. "I can't stay away any longer. I must see my home again before I die." Cleo looked at Andy and rolled her eyes. "All these years here, and he still doesn't call Chicago home?" she whispered. Andy shook his head. "You and I were born here," he said. "Chicago is the only home we know. Remember, Bamba came here with the idea of going back someday. He's done well here, but he still loves Greece." "We will leave on Friday morning," George went on. "Phoebe and Myra will drive us to the airport. Cleo, you keep an eye on the house while we are away. Andy, you run the restaurant. And all of you must go to church every Sunday. The big Greek dinner is coming up. I want everyone to help out." Cleo rolled her eyes again. "Why am I the one to watch the house? You have two sisters," she whispered to Andy. "He's probably afraid you'll change something at the restaurant," said Andy. "Don't worry. I need your help to run the place." So George and Daphne took a trip to Greece. When George saw the old village again, everything seemed the same at first. The little houses still looked like tiny white boxes against the green mountains. Everything was still beautiful, yet something felt very different. George just couldn't put his finger on what. Mama was gone now, but Adonia lived in the old place. That was different from the old days. Both times he had left here, he was a boy, really. Now he was a man with a family of his own. He had a life of his own in America. That was different from the old days. George and Daphne were not rich, but they were well off. They owned a business, a nice house, and 2 cars. That was different from the old days. Still, George could not put his finger on what felt different here. George, Daphne, and Adonia visited places in Greece that none of them had ever seen before. They went to the islands and rowed in a little boat with a white sail. They went to Athens and saw the great old buildings they had only seen pictures of. But the city of Athens was crowded and dirty. "Chicago is much nicer than this," George said. When they returned to the village, George wasn't talking. "What's the matter?" asked Daphne. "This isn't like you." "We have visited all these beautiful places," said George. "But that's just it. It's a visit. I am ready to return to Chicago. I want to get back to my family and business." Daphne smiled at her husband. "I feel the same way," she said. "Greece has had wars and hard times. Still, in many ways, it has not changed over the years. But you have. You are a man of 2 hearts, George Stavros. One of those hearts has found a home in America."